Weeks later, Dad asked why I'd stopped paying the mortgage. My answer shut them up for good. I can still hear her voice. Get out and never come back. She didn't whisper it. She screamed it, spit at the edges of her words, rage twisting her face. My own mother looking at me like I was a stranger. That was the night everything ended. But endings, I learned, can be rewritten. Growing up, I was the one who kept the house afloat. Dad was always underwater with bills. Mom cared more about appearances than responsibility. The bills arrived, the bank called, and I patched every hole. I pulled double shifts through college. Every paycheck went straight into mortgage. My name wasn't on the deed, but my blood was in the foundation. They used to call me their rock. Said I was the thing holding them steady. I believed them. God, I believed them. It started small. Mom's tone went colder. Less gratitude, more orders. Dad's silences grew heavier. Then one night, I overheard them in the kitchen, whispering like kids, hiding something. She'll never know. We've carried her long enough. Once she's gone, it'll finally be ours. I froze. Carried me. The money I'd been pouring in wasn't for our future. It was theirs. They weren't saving. They weren't planning. They were burning through my sacrifice on vacations, dinners, little luxuries I never saw. In that moment, the word family felt like a lie carved into my skin. The blow-up came 2 weeks later. Mom cornered me in the living room. You're ungrateful. Always acting like we owe you something. If you don't like it here, get out. Get out and never come back. She expected me to beg, to scramble for a place in a house I'd practically built. Instead, I stared at her, silent, cold. Then I went upstairs, packed one bag, and walked away from the rest of my life. No tears, no goodbyes. One decision carved deep in my chest. They wanted me gone. Fine, but they had no idea what leaving me behind would cost them. See, my name wasn't on the deed, but my name was on the mortgage, a small detail they'd conveniently forgotten. They needed me. Without my payments, that castle of theirs was a sinking ship. So I stopped. Every dollar I'd funneled into that house, I redirected into my own future, into my escape. I found a tiny apartment, sparse but mine. I worked in silence, paid my bills, and built a new life from the ground up. Their silence began to crack. Dad called one night, voice shaking. Why haven't you been paying the mortgage? I let the quiet stretch until I could hear his breath go shallow. Then I answered, calm and measured. Because, Dad, Mom told me to get out and never come back. And I don't pay for places I don't live. Click. I didn't shout or argue. I let the weight of those words settle into his chest. Over the next weeks, I watched from the sidelines as reality crushed them. Bank letters piled up, their faces hollowed, desperate. Mom tried calling once, voice dripping with fake sweetness. We can work something out, honey. Families stick together. I laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. No, Mom. Families don't throw each other out. Families don't use each other. You taught me that. She hung up before I could say more. It didn't take long. Foreclosure notices arrived, one after another. The house, the place I'd sacrificed years for, slipped through their fingers and was auctioned off. I didn't lift a finger, not from cruelty, but from justice. They'd gambled with my loyalty, bet against my silence, and lost. Weeks later, I ran into Dad outside a grocery store. He looked smaller, worn down. Why did you do it? He asked, voice cracking like dry wood. I looked him dead in the eye. You asked the wrong question. You should be asking why you thought I'd keep paying after Mom screamed at me to get out. You can't throw someone away and still expect them to carry your weight. He flinched. No comeback. No excuses. Just a quiet understanding that he had built his downfall brick by brick. Now I live free. Every paycheck is mine. Every step forward mine. No chains, no manipulations, no guilt. Sometimes late at night I think of that house. The walls I painted, the roof I paid for, the mortgage I carried. And then I smile. Justice doesn't always arrive in grand gestures. Sometimes it's silence, the quiet refusal to be used again. They screamed me out of their lives, and I walked. When the bills came knocking, my silence screamed louder.